Debacle in the shop. This event is a consequence of your previous actions, because we have 8 or more justice. Your tenure as a judge has yielded considerable results. More and more often, common people come to the prefecture to assert their rights, and succeed in doing so. Some local villagers have even started coming to seek the court's protection. All over the province there is talk that a new era has come, that the law is in fact the same for all. This morning, on your way to the prefecture, you anticipate a peaceful day, full of paperwork, but as soon as you enter your office, Elborn rushes in after you. Don't sit down, Brant. You've been assigned an urgent investigation. This morning a tradeswoman, old Mrs. Steiner, came to the prefecture with her 2 grandchildren. She demands that we punish Sir L. Verger for setting fire to her shop and trying to rob her. Well, the Steiners had just finished writing up the complaint when L. Verger himself came bursting in. He immediately sued the Steiners for his own murder. What? I've come to borrow you, new Brant. Even though the Steiners are acting in self-defense, you still have to find in favor of L. Verger. You're surprised to hear this from Elborn. Seeing your perplexed look, the prefect frowns. I'll explain. Before, low-born shopkeepers like the Steiners wouldn't have dreamed of suing a nobleman. Everything was always decided in favor of the nobility, as you may recall. But now the law has more power. Our efforts have not been in vain. However, now we're talking about the murder of a nobleman by commoners. I'm afraid these changes have been too drastic. The governing elite of the province are watching our every step. Justifying the murder of a nobleman would be going too far. The overseer and the magistrate might well decide it's time to take back the common people's rights. Can't let that happen, Brian. Court is in session. You're presiding over the Board of Justice. Oh, I'm on the Board of Justice. Sweet. One bench is occupied by the somber Maximin L. Verger. His papers state that he is a nobleman of the sword living off his estate. He strokes the pommel of his sword nervously and breathes heavily, ready to explode in a fit of rage. On the other bench, you see the Steiners, the low-born owners of a well-known jewelry store. Anne Steiner, a short, wizened woman, wrapped in several layers of dark silks, looks defiantly at L. Verger. Her 2 grandchildren stand silently behind her, their faces impassive. My squad noticed the fire at the Steiner shop. We stormed in and saw those Steiners standing over the dead body of Sir L. Verger and watched it crumble to dust. The old woman shouted that she had to go to the prefecture, so we brought her and her grandchildren here. Sir L. Verger suffered a lesser death before our very eyes. Miscreants, these low-born scum killed me. You sternly call the noblemen to order. The commoners will speak first.
Sir L. Verger showed up at our shop at dawn and started banging on the door. We opened, despite him being completely drunk, scarcely able to stand on his feet, and demanded to see our pearls. Well, what could I do? I showed them to him, and then he started sweeping our pearls right into his own pockets. I tell him, those pearls are not free, sir. But he draws a sword. I'm a nobleman, he says. Everything should be free for me. Such is your lot, he yells. Your lot is to work for me. Well, I explain that the pearls cost 20 coins, so he takes a lit lamp and smashes it on the floor, and then he charges me with his sword. My grandchildren came to my rescue. They went and pushed him. They used no weapon. Naturally, Sir L. Verger hit his temple against his showcase and fell. Came to see how he was. He was already dying. We didn't kill him. His own anger did. So I didn't come here to confess to murder, but to ask you, Your Honor, to protect our family against this bloodsucker. We had a hard time putting the fire in the shop out after what that rascal did.
You ungrateful old hag. You should have been delighted that I was taking your pearls. All of society would have seen them. You're a blasphemer, too. Not knowing your lot. The low-born must not contradict us nobles is forbidden. I know my lot. I'm supposed to command. So I'm in my right when I take what I want from the rebel. And his honor, the judge, will agree with me. Your honor, I appeal to you, one nobleman to another. It's simply an outrage for the rabble to behave like this. Those little shopkeepers took me first life from me the heir of the L. Verger legacy. I demand that these Steiners be hanged at once, or burned at the stake since they followed the heresy of Foddus. Only the heretics deny their lot.
There is commotion in the courtroom. Those who came to support the Steiners are infuriated by the nobleman's words. Elverga's noble friends frantically demand the lowborn be silenced. You call the court to order, but to no avail. The room will not calm down until you deliver your verdict. You rub your temple. If you manage to acquit the old lady, it will set a precedent for the entire empire. The lowborn have never had the right to defend themselves with force against one another, let alone the nobles. You have the increased influence of the prefecture on your side. You could even try to legalize the right of common people of Margaret to defend their lives. But such a daring move will not succeed without the support of powerful people. You remember Elborn's warning. What would the consequences of your decision be for the common folk of Anazote? Should you acquit the signers? Can you? Okay, I can't grant the right to self-defense because I don't have patronage of the powerful. I'm already the protector of the people, so like, you know. I could punish them. Justice falls by 2! Ouch! Ouch. Alternatively, I can acquit them. Simultaneously, do I want justice to go up to 10? What happens when it goes up to 10? Hold on a second, let me just... family, occupation? No, I mean, I don't see anything here. Reputation. This is all family stuff. Losing 2 justice, though, that hurts. Oh, wait a minute, I do have a thing about what happens. Broken chains. The rebellious citizens take control of Anazote. Ah! Now, I'm not sure. Does it check for this, like, all the time, or does it only check for this when the chapter ends? Do I really want to be the one to spark a rebellion? I mean, the system, the government, it's got its flaws, I'll admit it. But at the same time, do I really want it to completely fall apart? I mean, especially since, you know, this is, yeah, somewhat selfishly speaking, but I am kind of, you know, pretty decently set up in the system. So, you know, this is tough. This is actually probably one of the toughest choices I've made. And my career would be shambles. But losing 2 justice... Like, my career is probably gonna be in shambles anyways if I lose 2 justice. Because typically, oftentimes, getting justice back up requires sacrificing career. It's dangerous. It might be the wrong call. It might destabilize the whole nation. But a right to self-defense should be enjoyed by the people. Being a noble doesn't give you the right to just walk over everyone else and be unreasonable and rude. And the consequences for this may be great, may be grim. But today justice prevails. You rise, cutting off the racket in the room, and begin your speech. You gesture passionately, putting all your faith in the power of justice into every word you utter. You have heard both parties and are ready to deliver your verdict. However much Elverga may cling to the lots, he is not in a church. He is in a court of law, and this court's duty is to judge all the estates and decide all cases fairly. This case is of a nobleman who believes he has the right to rob and murder commoners as he sees fit. The Steiners are completely innocent. They are merely defending themselves against Elverga's assault. They are free to go. On pain of punishment, Elverga must not persecute these people further or make any attempt on their property. The courtroom is stunned by your decision. For a few moments, everyone is frozen, unable to believe that you have just acquitted the killers of a nobleman. Then the common folk burst into cheers. The guards escort the enraged Alverga out of the room by force. Flummoxed, the Steiners talk over each other in their haste to thank you. The other judges stare at you in horror. The trial is over. Well then, Brante. It's a shame you didn't follow my advice. Now the lowborn have nothing to stop them from taking up arms. There's a terrible storm brewing. We can only hope we won't be smashed against the rocks. Commoner seize power. Well then. Things seem like they're about to get very interesting. This doesn't seem good. Chutes and ladders. Because my career is less than or equal to 2. Hopefully I can salvage it. News of your latest actions spreads rapidly across Anazote. You have made many enemies during your years as a judge, and now's their chance to strike. Your career is hanging by a thread. You have to fight off accusations, denouncements, and slander just to retain your position. A quiet knock at the door interrupts your musing. The imposing figure of Judge Carlo Falkengarben solemnly floats into your office.
We hardly ever see each other these days, Brante. I've decided to pay you a visit, with the most cordial of intentions, of course. I've been hearing, everywhere, that things are not going well for you, so I asked myself the question, how could a man of your talents quarrel with almost all of Anazote high society? I'm sure you are simply misguided. But worry not, I will show you the way. Many judges see you as a threat. They think that your daring rulings are putting the entire prefecture in danger. Let's examine your latest case, for instance. Its outcome enraged all the nobility of the city. But I know you aren't what they say you are. The others need to see how much you care for your colleagues and our institution. Take my advice, Brian. Don't forget that it's a judge's job to maintain law and order among the estates, not destroy it. Admit your error and reconsider at least some of your past decisions in favor of the nobility. Do this, and I assure you, society will come to see you as a respectable nobleman and a wise judge once again. Do not emulate our prefect. You know that I hold Elborn in the highest esteem, but between you and me, he's on the edge of a precipice. He's dragging you down with him. Promise me you'll think about what I've said, Brante. I'm only concerned about your well-being. I care about the career of a promising judge like you.
Falkengarben takes a bow and leaves as silently as he came. You reread your latest cases. Lost in thought, this is what has turned high society against you. Your enemy's schemes are preventing you from continuing your work. You need to find a way out of this situation. Let's see, I can continue the fight. My crew goes down even further. Valor goes up, though. I can annul my decisions. Justice would fall by 3. My career would go up by 2, though. It would get us back out of convicting Auten range, but I can't very well convict Auten if I'm not a judge anymore, so I can ask my father for help, which would hurt the reputation of the family. You know, I actually think annulling the decisions here is actually, like, a political super move. Because think about it. Where are we in terms of the occupation, right? Commoners are apparently on the verge of seizing power. That's not what we want, necessarily. I'm all for, rights of the common people and whatnot, woo-woo. But simultaneously, we don't need mobs running amok in the streets, doing whatever they see fit. We don't actually want justice to be quite this high. I would have much preferred it if that previous thing was like a +1 to justice instead of a +2. However, if we annul some of our decisions, that'll get us back down to 7, which, yes, is out of Autumn conviction range. However, it does get us out of the danger zone of having way too much justice and risking the populace rising up. So I think, in this tightrope we walk, annulling some decisions here and now is probably the best thing to do. And I wish I had Patrons of the Powerful. That would make my life so much easier. Anyways, I will annul my decisions. It is with a heavy heart that you contemplate the rulings you have made this year to protect the rights of the common people. It would be unwise to resist the pressure any longer. If you do, you will be crushed, and all your efforts will go up in smoke, along with your career. You have no choice but to make a compromise with your conscience. Overturning your own rulings proves to be a difficult task. You have to knock on the doors of offices and chancelleries all over Anazote. You see an endless succession of imperial officers of various ranks. You explain to each of them that there has been an unfortunate error. You made your rulings without taking all circumstances into account, and now the nobles are displeased. After some more soliciting and humiliation, the cases are reconsidered. The indignant commoners you had previously protected attempt to get an audience with you. You order the gendarmes to prevent the petitioners from entering your office. You have nothing to say to them anyway. There's another knock at your door. You brace yourself ready to turn away another scornful commoner, but it is in fact Sir Carlo Fuckengraben, a smile beaming across his face.
I rejoice to see that I have not misjudged you, Brante. The prefecture has duly appreciated your vigor and your willingness to compromise. I believe that now you will not only restore your position, but ascend even higher than before. Who knows? What if I am looking at the future prefect of Magra?
Okay. Commoners are still protected, at least, but yeah. I've been a masterful diplomat for so long, it's really not all that exciting at this point. I do not get to use that masterful diplomacy. The hunt for Thomas. This event is a consequence of your previous actions, because Thomas Guerrero has not been rescued. Never good to open with a blood stain, is it? You are shaving before going to work. You scoop some warm water from the wash basin. The morning light reflected in the mirror is blinding. A servant rushes in with an urgent letter, or rather a crumpled note. He says it is from a childhood friend of yours. You flinch involuntarily. A nasty cut appears on your cheek. Oh, okay, good. Just a shaving cut. Not fun, but, you know. Way better than the alternative. Brian, I'm in trouble. Otto knows that I helped you. Now he's finally decided to get rid of me. His henchmen are on my tail already. They'll find me no matter how well I hide. I'm out of time, Brian. If you can. For the sake of our old friendship, please help me out of this mess somehow. If Auden finds me, I'll be off to the Shining Pillar. I'm all out of lives. Your friend, Thomas. You crush the note in your hands. A drop of blood runs down your cheek. Your old friend is in danger because he helped you with the case against Auden. If you don't interfere, Thomas Guerrero is doomed. So I cannot get involved. Thomas will die and I will get some more power. If I protect Thomas... more death! I don't need another death! Less reputation, more death, more valor, less willpower. He'd be rescued at least, but... boy, that's not good. I can eliminate Auden's... get my career back in the gutter? I just got that fixed. I suppose here's the baseline calculation. What should one forsake in a case of this? Your friend's life, your own life, or your career? There's some wrinkles given the nature of the universe. For example, this is my friend's last life. They're dead. I still have one more, but I don't exactly want to be going through them like candy on Halloween, so it's worth noting, if I use this death here, I will not be able to use another death anywhere else unless without just dying permanently. I will be on the razor's edge. And it's actually worth noting, it says it's somewhere around here. It's in Destiny. Chapter 5 is called The Revolt. Probably not an exactly peaceful time. I mean, heck, if I die twice during like the peace times, then I'm not gonna fare well in the revolt. And throwing my career in the gutter. Like, I can't do that. I mean, I just had to make some rather extreme moves to save my career. And here's the fact of the matter. Yes, it's only a career. Isn't my friend's life more important? Theoretically, it should be, but if I'm working on the Auten case. I'm trying to make it so he can't do this to more people, right? This isn't just about Thomas. This is about a pattern of abuse and murder on account of this man against his inferiors, the people he presides over. It's about, the rights of the nobles to just murder people willy-nilly if they so feel like it, and making sure that is no longer a thing. If we succeed in this, we're talking saving tens, hundreds, maybe thousands of lives. I can't do that, though, if my career is tarnished, and I've got no standing at the prefecture. And yeah, I might have time to build that back up, but typically to build a career up often requires sacrificing justice. And if I sacrifice justice much more, I'm going to be out of striking range. To get Auten punished for his crimes. I don't want to die again. Thomas, you've been a good friend for a very long time, and I'm very torn up over the fact that you've gotten yourself in such a terrible situation. But though it pains me, I can't get involved. I'm sorry. You lower the note into the flame of a candle. It is reduced to ash in a matter of moments. You will not try to save Thomas Guerrero. His fate is in his own hands. It's time to go to work. You managed to finish all your work before lunch. You decide to take the rest of the day off and reward yourself with a stroll through the city. First, you come to the square in the Silver District. Sitting on the edge of the old fountain, you watch the noble carriages pass by. The canopy of the silver tree casts a soothing shadow over you. The sun is well past noon now. You continue your walk. A noisy group of students burst out of Sir Tibor's school. The young men have just finished their studies for the day. You were a student there yourself not too long ago. You decide to watch the sunset by the city wall. You have an excellent view of the desert, painted by the flaming hues of the setting sun. You gaze at the remnants of a wooden fort from your childhood. But it's getting very late. Time to head home. The next morning, a dead body with numerous knife wounds is found near the city gates. A Legion captain by the name of Thomas Guerrero has met his true death. I hope you're at the top of that pillar there, friend. I'm sorry.